I would like to say good evening to everyone and welcome to the Town of Fairmount Heights Mayor and Town Council meeting for the month of March. The date is March 17th, the year 2021. And you know, there's been a lot of things saying yay or nay as to whether we should pray. I'm not going to pray, but I at least want to say thank you to the Master for what he has laid in our lap for such a time as this. We are coming upon much more greatness than we ever expected. And we are making plans to deal with it so it's going to be beneficial for every member of this community. That is our hope. That is our desire. It will come to fruition. So I wanted to just say thank you, thank you, thank you. Because not only have you showered down the blessings upon us as a community, but all of our neighboring communities have so definitely been blessed. So thank you, Jesus. And I'm going to move on. I'm not going to belabor, you know, talking about the goodness of God because that never changes. I wanted to open up and say good evening to everyone. We are opening at 7:35. We were listening to Mr. Gray as he put the lovely sounds on to get us in the mood for a wonderful meeting for the town of Fairmount Heights. At this time, I'm going to move down and I want to go to roll call. I would like to ask our clerk of the council, Mrs. Span, would you please call the roll?
Yes. Mayor Martin.
Present.
Councilmember Akindu-Waka.
Present.
Councilmember Morgan.
Here.
Councilmember Hargrove.
Here.
Councilmember Wood Dotson.
She's on here. Councilmember Wood Dotson. I see her on here.
Present.
Okay.
Present.
I see her. Councilmember Waiters.
Present.
Okay. Everyone's present.
Okay. All right. Thank you. Did we get Councilmember Morris? Okay.
I'm sorry, you're correct. Councilmember Morris, thank you for that correction.
Here.
All right.
You.
Thank you very much. Thank all of you all for being present this evening. And we're going to move on down the agenda. Our first item that we have is some minutes that need approving, and those were sent by the clerk of the council to your boxes. These are minutes for February the 9th, the year 2021, and it was a work session. Did everyone get the opportunity to review those minutes?
People don't know how to do the alphabet.
I did, but then they're not correct.
What's it called?
What was that, council member?
I did get a moment to review the minutes, but
There were corrections.
what I've been quoted to say is not correct.
Okay. Did anyone else get the opportunity?
Yes, I did get a chance to read the minutes. I also sent in some corrections. She asked me what corrections were there that she needed to make, and I sent them, but I don't see them in the minutes.
Okay. Is there anyone else that had the opportunity to review?
Madam Chair, Councilman Waiters, I did review.
All right. So is there anyone ready to get these minutes approved, or would you all like to combine those and put it with next month's minutes?
I like to combine them with next month's to give her a chance.
After the corrections have been submitted.
Yes, all right. I will accept the motion to table these minutes and add them to our agenda for the month of April.
Love y'all.
Councilmember Wood Dotson, would you please mute your phone?
I'd like to make a motion to amend the minutes for February the 9th, 2021 work session till April.
I get a second on that? Did I get a second on that motion?
Any room for discussion, Madam Mayor?
Yes, once I get the
Second.
second. It's been probably moved and seconded. These minutes, this set of minutes is tabled until our April meeting. Are there any questions on the motion? Madam, Councilmember Waiters?
Yes, ma'am. I read through the minutes and, there are corrections. I haven't seen any corrections and we're tabling the minutes without, stating what, I don't know what's wrong with the minutes. There was no discussion on what's wrong with the minutes, just merely that they need to be corrected.
Okay, was there's someone who, I think it was Councilmember Waka that said that they needed correcting first. Councilmember Waka?
I did mention prior to the vote that I was not quoted properly. My statements are not correct.
And who else was that? Councilmember Hargrove? Did you have some corrections that
Yes.
weren't?
Yes, I read the minutes and sent the minutes to Ms. Span, but I did not see the corrections in the minute.
Okay, so that's two. How many other people had issues with the minutes that needed correcting?
Mayor, Councilmember Morgan, I didn't review the minutes yet.
Okay. Okay, what's the pleasure of the council concerning this set of minutes?
I'd like to see the corrections, Madam Mayor, that was submitted to Ms. Span. They were submitted to Ms. Span. I didn't see the corrections. I just like to consider, I would like to see the corrections that were forwarded. The minutes are going to be tabled. But again, when you table minutes, you have to state the reason why you're stating them. And Councilmember has said, but Councilmember Hargrove has made reference to something that was sent to Ms. Span. So my own reservation is that I have not seen that yet.
Okay. All right, so,
Madam Mayor, I emailed the corrections to Ms. Span. I want to say almost the day that she sent them out, probably that evening, once I read them, I emailed her the corrections and she said that she received them. So if you want to see them, you're more than welcome to get them from Ms. Span.
okay. All right, well, so far we have, the motion has been properly seconded. Is that the only questions that we had on that motion?
Yes.
For myself, yes.
Yeah.
Okay. The Councilmember Morris, I saw your hand first and then Ms. Span.
No, I was saying, yes, I agree.
Okay. All right, Ms. Span?
Without seeing faces, I don't know who first and second. So I don't know, I have no clue who first and who's second. I know whoever's iPhone, I think first, but I don't know. All I see is iPhone. I don't know who they are.
Oh, yeah, okay. Who did the actual motion on tabling these minutes?
Councilmember Morgan,
Okay, and who did the second?
Well, I did it, it just didn't, it was muted.
Okay,
Okay, Morris.
okay. Yes, ma'am, Ms. Span?
Will they because the correction that was asked, unless I sent out the wrong one, is here on mine. But I need to know when you misquoted, I need to know which page, which paragraph, which saying. So I'll need to know that information in order to make the correction.
Okay,
Madam, I'm sorry, Ms. Span.
Yes.
I think when I sent you my emails, I put page 2 and whatever paragraph it was, because you had it titled and I put it under that, the corrections.
okay. So could you get that to her, Councilmember Hargrove, so that we can get this?
She gave it
Yes, I
to
can.
me. I'm looking at it now.
Okay,
So I don't know
Okay.
what, but anyway, that's okay.
all right, so we'll get that corrected and we'll put that on just to be tabled. So if there are no other questions, Madam Clerk to the council, would you please call the roll?
Yes. Mayor Martin,
Aye.
Councilmember Ukindu-Awaka. I can't, where is she?
Councilmember Up,
Aye.
Councilmember Morgan,
Aye.
Councilmember Hargrove,
Aye.
Councilmember Dotson, I see her, but she's muted. Councilmember Wood Dotson,
It's,
yeah,
Aye.
he said
Can
aye.
you-
Yes,
Okay.
Councilmember Morris
Aye.
and Councilmember Waiters.
I'll abstain.
All right, thank you very much. The ayes have it. Any nays? There's one abstain, one vote for abstaining. All right, so these minutes will be added to our April town meeting minutes. We're going to move on down to our reports. And first on our reports is Lieutenant Ivy with the Police Department report. Lieutenant Ivy, are you on?
Yes, I'm on. Good evening, everyone.
Yes, good evening.
For the month of the Fairmount Heights Police Department, total 206 calls for service for the month of February due to illness that was not COVID related. A citizen attempted armed robbery in the 5600 block of Cole Street, where suspects fled towards Sheriff Road into the District of Columbia. The victim received a head injury that was not life-threatening and was transported to Doctors Hospital for treatment. Next, a shooting incident that occurred on Eastern Avenue in the District of Columbia, causing the victim, who then turned off Eastern Avenue onto J Street, collided into a tree with suspect continuing pursuit firing shots. The victim's vehicle came to a completed stop in the 5700 block of Josh Street. The suspect vehicle fled the scene with identification of 3 occupants. MPD was notified for crime scene processing for initial shots with shell casings recovered on Eastern Avenue, and the victim received no life-threatening injuries. Concerning the updates for the month of February 2021, an audit conducted by the Maryland Police Correctional Training Commission on personnel files for the Fairmount Heights Police Department. The Governor's Office of Crime Control and Prevention inventory of interrogation rooms for each police department was conducted and completed, which is required by Senate Bill 76-CH-359-2008 that requires an annual update from each law enforcement agency be completed. The Reserve Officer Program is moving forward with the Maryland Police Training Correctional Commission standards, and their procedures are being met. Next, snow emergency route streets were assessed during the snow and ice condition days for all vehicles to be removed for any plowing conditions that would be needed. Municipal agencies were informed that the state's attorney's office will no longer be handling any asset forfeiture cases, meaning any assets confiscated by a local law enforcement agency to deprive criminals of their ill-gotten gain through seizure of their assets, which will involve all municipal town attorneys involved in the case before the courts in Prince George's County, Maryland. The Fairmount Heights Police Department will have the JAG, the Joint Agency Group Task Force Unit, consisting of units working together concerning illegal activity and violations in the town of Fairmount Heights. And last, for patrol, that the Prince George's County Police Department continues to assist the Fairmount Heights Police Department with local patrolling in the town. That concludes my report.
All right, thank you very much, Lieutenant.
You're welcome.
Lieutenant, I think we're going to have audience participation, citizen participation near the end. So if you could just hold tight on there. All right.
Okay.
We're going to move on down to code enforcement. Is Mr. Pinckney on the line? Okay. All right. So since Mr. Pinckney is out on the line, if he does come on, I will let him get his spot. I'll slip him in. I'm going to move on down to the treasurer's report. And I have the treasurer's report for tonight. She's not present because she went to a meeting with her granddaughter's school, a very important Prince George's County school meeting concerning the proposal to move her granddaughter's school to a place that's not likable. So she's not available tonight, but she did leave this report, and this is the treasurer's summary for March 17th, the year 2021. The budget summary, we are 8 months, 67% into the fiscal year. Our total revenue as of 2/28/21 was 63%. General revenue, 66%. Intergovernment transfers, 54%. Other revenue, 55%. Police department, 5%. This is an area of concern. Total expense as of 2/28/21 was 63%. Administration, 57%. Election, 0%. Probably will not change. No election in fiscal year 21. Legislative, 42%. Municipal, 83%. Public safety, 52%. And public works, 81%. Items reviewed at the staff meeting. These items and their potential FY22 budget/financial impact will be discussed in detail at our upcoming budget meeting. The first one is the parking lot, and that concerns the contract update. The next one is business licenses, and that will be an application update. The next one is vacant property and lots. The next one is vacant dwellings. The next one is parking study RFP. The next one is cooperative fuel agreement, previously presented to the council by Lieutenant Ivy. And the last one is bulk trash, update missing items. Grant payments received since last town meeting, no payments at this time. That ends the treasurer's report for the month of March, the year 2021. I'm going to continue down to the town manager's report. Mrs. Sarumi, are you on the line?
Yes.
Yes, hello, Mr. Rumi.
Yes, good evening, everyone. Good evening, citizens.
Good evening.
My report is for the period ending February 28th, 2021. Again, I'm reminding the mayor and council of the renewal of the franchise agreement with Verizon in the upcoming year, and also for the COVID package. There's going to be a lot of discussion about broadband and what is needed in terms of technology in the new world as far as communication. So I will provide as much information as I can. The franchise agreement, as I stated, it expires November 21st, 2022. So I keep reminding us so we won't miss that date for our renewal. For reporting from the Department of Public Works, during the month of February, it was unusually cold, and we had several snow days and ice buildup days. I want to report that the Public Works Department did a great job. We didn't receive any complaints, but we did receive compliments on the work that they did, working with Lieutenant Ivy and Mr. Pinckney to ensure that your streets were free of ice and snow and that you were able to maneuver throughout the town. Black History Month, we had a wonderful month-long celebration. We had many prominent guests and speakers. So I'm just gonna give a basic summary. We had Mr. Fred Smith, who is an alumni of Fairmount High School, who talked about the period of segregation and the long fight for quality education. We had Wanda Charles, a minority business owner of the printing company Bless 24/7, and some of, I know Mayor Martin and others have had the wonderful pleasure of using her business and known her for years. And then we had Dr. Valerie Thomas, an African-American scientist and inventor, best known for her patent for illusion transmitter and the contribution to NASA research. She received a patent in 1980 for her work. And I'm proud to say that she's a graduate of Morgan, and she and I were at Morgan University at the same time. I'm happy to see as the importance of Black history, untraditional jobs and accomplishments, and certainly Black woman being a scientist, it tops the list. Then we had a presentation. I learned who Dr. Vivian Thomas was. I want to thank Michaela Barnhart for her wonderful presentation. She's a student at Magnolia Elementary School. Dr. Vivian Thomas was an African-American laboratory supervisor who developed a procedure to use to treat the blue baby syndrome. He received his honorary doctorate degree from Johns Hopkins for the outstanding work that he did there. Also, we had Thomas Gross, who's a planning coordinator from Prince George's County Planning Department. He presented the African-American Historic Trail of Fairmount Heights. I learned a lot. And he also had an opportunity to explain the difference between documented properties, properties that are considered historic sites, and those that are contribute. It's very important because often I hear from the citizens that we are disturbing historic properties and sites. Of course, the first thing that we do before looking at anything to be done, we contact the Maryland Historic Trust. So his presentation was interesting. And finally, we had a wonderful tea with Mayor Martin. She took us through memory lane for her accomplishments as the, I don't want to get the terms wrong, but it appeared that she served the long period as she served as mayor for the town of Fairmount Heights. Thank you. You in itself is history. Thank you. Also, during this period, Mayor Martin did ask me to work with her for her presentation for Women's History Month. I think you all received a flyer in your box. I just talked about Tom Gross being from the planning department. And this month, we're going to have Elizabeth Hewlett, who is the first woman who served as the commissioner for the for park and planning. And we're certainly honored to have her. And I'm gonna let Mayor talk about the other guests. So in terms of economic development, I want to talk just a little bit about the Green Team. We had our meeting on February 25th at 5:30. With input from the team, I was asked to draft a green purchasing policy. So that is on the agenda under new business. So I'm not going to go into details about that. In addition to that, I want the citizens and the council to know that we will be awarded 15 additional points. These points are for action items for Sustainable Maryland certification. The advantage of being certified is that it brings in resources. It brings in access to training tools and expert guidance. It saves money and improves the bottom line, and it conserves resources with promoting resiliency. And so far, so good. And I know the things that you can really see that came through Sustainable Maryland, it is the whole issue of the pooper scooper. That was a resource that came through Sustainable Maryland. We were able to have our first community garden. And at your work session, at your next session, I will talk more about what we're planning for the spring. And one of the things that I want to incorporate as part of my discussion with the spring is the whole issue about the town and the inner beltway communities being a food desert. And so I've been studying approaches as to how we can overcome being a food desert by some simple steps. And I'll talk about that in our next meeting. And also included tonight in your presentation in the new business, February 11th, 2021, we had the net zero housing update, which was hosted on behalf of HIP. And tonight, as our guest speaker again, we have Stephanie Presto, who's going to discuss all the changes and recommendations. And the one thing I enjoy working with Stephanie is that we don't work 9 to 5. It's interesting when we come up with ideas and opportunities that we brainstorm as to how to make it better. So as you will hear tonight, we have gone from just developing net zero housing to making it a greener and a demonstration project. And our new partners will include Maryland Energy Administration and PEPCO. We will also incorporate trees. And after hearing comments from the citizens, we came up with a way to incorporate the historic marker and the exhibit box into that project. So you will learn more about that from Stephanie when she does a presentation. That's about all that takes care of my presentation for tonight. Also, I want to mention that tomorrow evening, we're having the Economic Community Development Committee meeting. And so I'm sure Councilman Williams will give you more details about that. So Green Team meeting, 4th Thursday in each month. And we're gonna have some exciting and interesting presentations. And we invite everybody to participate. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much, Mrs. Rumi. We're going to go on down to new business. And the first item on the new business this evening is the net zero housing update. And Stephanie, thank you for coming on the line again this month. If you're here, Stephanie, you have the floor. All right. Well, if Stephanie comes on after I go past her, we'll come back to her. All right, I'm going to go down to item number 2, which is the resolution to adopt the green purchasing policy. And clerk to the council, Mrs. Spann, would you please read that into the record?
Yes. Town of Fairmount Heights, resolution to purchase the green goods and services, resolution number FHR 04-2021, introduced by Councilmember Patricia Waiters, Councilmember Jacqueline Morgan, and Councilmember Jacqueline Wood Dotson. Whereas the town of Fairmount Heights, Maryland, is committed to developing policies that coordinate to the purchase of goods and services that minimize the impact of human health and the natural environment. And whereas the mayor and council of Fairmount Heights realize their responsibility to minimize negative impact of human health and on the environment while supporting a diverse, equitable, and vibrant community and an economy. And whereas the town understands that the type of products and services that the town buys have an inherent impact on health, natural resources, the viability of the community, and whereas the town, at the request of the Fairmount Heights Green Team Committee, in support of Sustainable Maryland Certification Program, desires to purchase environmentally certified products and services that use recyclable materials, reduce the amount of waste generated in manufacturing of use, are durable, long-lasting, or compostable, reduce energy and water use, reduce the use of toxic and hazardous materials, support biodiversity, and reduce greenhouse gases emission. And whereas the life cycle assessments social equity, considerations, and fiscal factors are to become inherent in the purchasing process, and that the town employees will make a good faith effort to incorporate and to balance factors. And now therefore be it resolved by the mayor and the council of the town of Fairmount Heights that employees and the town coordinate with the federal, state, and local agencies, as well as other stakeholders regarding permits, retrofit, design, environmentally preferable purchasing, sustainability, bioretention, and other environmental, construction, and installation issues to ensure compliance with the Fairmount Heights Green Purchasing Policy. Be it further resolved by the mayor and council on this, and should I put today's date? This date, which is March what is today's date?
17.
Of 2021, that the town does hereby adopt a sustainable purchasing policy that makes it clear that environmental consideration should become a part of all specifications consistent with other factors such as safety, price, performance, and availability. Be it therefore resolved that this resolution becomes effective immediately upon its passage and adopted. Passed and adopted on, and then the date, if it's today's date, the 17th of March in the year of 2021. And then it would be places for everyone to affix their signature. Thus I've read. Thank you, Mayor.
Yes, thank you very much, Mrs. Span. Council members, did everyone get the opportunity to review that resolution? The resolution to adopt the green purchasing policy.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah.
If everyone has the
Yeah,
opportunity,
actually, this would, because Mr. Rumi read it at the work session as well.
okay,
So yes, I've had an opportunity to as well as hearing it.
all right. Okay, at this time, I will accept a motion for approval of this resolution.
So move.
Can I get a second on that?
Second.
It's been properly moved and seconded that the resolution to adopt the green purchasing policy for the town of Fairmount Heights be approved. Are there any questions on the motion? If there are no questions, Madam Secretary of the Council, would you please call the roll?
Yes, Madam Mayor.
Yes.
Mayor Martin,
Yes.
Councilmember Akindula-Waka,
Yes,
Councilmember Morgan,
Yes.
Councilmember Hargrove,
Yes.
Councilmember Wood Dotson,
Yes.
Councilmember Morris,
Yes.
Councilmember Waiters.
Yes.
Thank you very much. The ayes have it. That resolution has been approved. There are any nays? And no abstentions? That resolution is approved. Thank you all very much. I see that I just received a notice that Stephanie for our net zero project has come on the line, and I want to give her the opportunity. So before we leave this new business, I'm going to go back up to Stephanie. Good evening to you, Stephanie.
Good evening. How are you?
Fine, fine.
Good. I
If you-
apologize. I didn't have the meeting information, login information, so glad I was able to join.
Oh, I'm glad you had the opportunity, so you could go on. You have the floor.
Okay. Did you want me to go through the PowerPoint presentation?
I don't think I think you were supposed to sort of do a summary tonight. I'm not
summary?
really
Okay.
sure. Yeah, yeah, it
Sure.
seems like it was a summary.
Okay,
Uh-huh.
so my name is Stephanie Prestel, and I'm the Deputy Director with Housing Initiative Partnership. We are a nonprofit affordable housing developer and counseling agency here in Prince George's County. We've been around for over 30 years now. With affordable housing, we do both homeownership and rental housing. And as you know, we currently have a project that we're working on 60th Place, which are the net zero homes. So we're looking at that 60th Place site where the current municipal shed is. That site allows for 6 homes. And we are going to be building net zero ready single family detached homes. They have 3 bedrooms, 2.5 baths. They're about 1,600 square feet. They're really beautiful. They'll be very energy efficient and really great homes for first time home buyers. We have had a few different discussions about the project, both with the community and with the working group. And one of the issues raised by the community was really making sure that the former municipal building, which is at the 419 address of that site, or 719, is honored appropriately. There's currently some really lovely historic markers that have been designed and installed by the city to commemorate the importance of that site and the rich African-American history in the community. And the community just wanted to make sure that we're truly respecting that. The second piece is that from when we originally started the project, we have another unique opportunity to do some resilient energy work, which means that each home will have solar power and they will be interconnected to something called a microgrid. And what that means is any extra power created by those solar panels will be stored in the microgrid. And should something happen where PEPCO, the regular utility provider, goes down, the homes will run off the extra power in the microgrid. This is a pilot project. We're working with PEPCO and the Maryland Energy Administration and another energy company called Amera. It's a really exciting pilot project that will be really put Fairmount Heights on the map. And both the utility companies are extremely excited about the project. This is the future of energy delivery, and will hopefully avoid things like what we saw in Texas when the whole grid went down and everyone was stranded. So this is a way for homeowners to be resilient. The microgrid storage unit itself is kind of big and bulky, so we've been very concerned about how best to hide it so that it is not an eyesore, but can be blended in with the community. So based on all of the conversations we've been having, we are looking at reworking our site plan a little bit, and we have the space so that each home has the appropriate size, same size yard, and we have one 25 by 115 foot lot left over, and we could attach that to a house, so one house has a larger yard, or, and what we're looking at doing is keeping that a single lot where we have the microgrid hidden in an attractive structure that looks similar to the houses, and create a pocket park with the for Fairmount Heights so that it could be almost a welcome center to your African-American history points, that trail that you have already in the community. So it would have benches and some hardscape, and it would still be very productive because it's got that microgrid, but it would be hidden behind a structure that only the utility company could access. So we're really excited about this new design idea and how it could really meet everybody's needs. We still have our 6 homes. We're still going to have 6 first-time home buyers. We'll have a lovely amenity for the community and the neighbors, as well as this pilot project for the microgrid. So as we work through the details, we'll be coming back to the community and the town with some design ideas to make sure that what we're proposing works for everybody and that it's the right fit for the community.
Yes, yes. Thank you so very much, Stephanie, for, bringing ideas and concepts into our community and for giving us another update tonight. We really appreciate that. And thanks for just putting your information out so that people could talk with you concerning plans and being innovative. That means a lot. It means a lot. And it's going to really mean a lot to our community. So I
We're
wanted to
very
say thank
excited
you.
about it. Yes,
Yes, thank you very much for that. Appreciate it.
sure.
All right, we're going to move on down. Our next item on the agenda is the PEPCO letter of support. I had a call from Mr. Tony Ruffin, who is the Governmental and External Affairs Manager for PEPCO. And they're about to go in front of the Public Service Commission. And they wanted to get us as the town of Fairmount Heights to sign a letter of support. This letter was sent out through our clerk to the council. I'm quite sure, did everyone receive your letter for the public service letter of support from PEPCO?
No.
No.
Nobody received it?
No, ma'am.
Okay, well, we'll have to, I had this on the agenda because they don't need it, I think, for another week or so. But this is just to say that the town is behind their plans. It reads such as, on behalf of the town of Fairmount Heights, we would like to share our support for the many benefits of PEPCO's proposed multi-year plan. And it talks a lot about it. It has about 4 paragraphs. And then at the end, it says, we feel that this plan is solid, essential, and key to increase stability and growth in our region and in our industry. Consequently, we urge approval of this request to grant PEPCO the ability to plan for a more vibrant future with a strong infrastructure and a solid, stable basis to plan for rate increases and service changes. This effort will benefit our economy and our growth over the next decades. And then this is where we sign the town's name. So this, I can make sure this is put in everyone's box again, and we'll get this organized so that Mr. Ruffin can have this ready to present. It really goes to the Public Service Commission as to what, the town and the other neighboring municipalities are saying, yes, go ahead with your plans according to the multi-year plan that's being done by PEPCO. Also, I talked with Mr. Ruffin concerning coming to our April work session because Council Member Morgan had asked me, she said she was on the webinar and she wanted to see if I could invite him out. So he's been invited to our April work session, but I will put the copy in everyone's boxes. And if you have any feedback, let me know so that we can get this done and get it signed off and send it to the Public Service Commission. I'm making a little note to put it in everybody's boxes. Okay. The next item on the agenda is the letter for mosquito control. This is a standard letter where every year we pay from $1,200 to $1,300 for mosquito control. And last year they didn't have the program. This year they're sending us the letter. They're saying the Maryland Department of Agriculture is in the process of planning mosquito control activities for this summer. And they're saying that the adult sighting will begin on May 26, 2021 and run through September 28, 2021. So it tells you all about the provisions and how you fax your complaints in or email them into a person at the Maryland Department of Agriculture. This will be at a cost of $1,300 for the year. I think it was that same price last year. So this goes in with a check. I would like to know the pleasure of the council for approval of this mosquito control yearly program. Council members, I'm speaking with you.
I accept. Councilmember Morgan.
Okay.
I accept Councilwoman Upton.
I accept Councilmember Morris.
All right.
I accept Councilmember Hargrove.
All right.
I accept. When will this start?
It starts on May 26th, but you know, there's a process. They do the adult siding, and then they do, I think everyone has a copy of this. It's a whole letter that came. If you don't, you know, we can get another copy out. But it tells all about how they do it. Because, you know, last year they came back and one part of it they didn't do, but we didn't have to pay that $1,300. But if they do the actual spraying, we'll be paying $1,300 per year.
Okay, because I mean, it's rare that they come on 59th Avenue and the mosquitoes here are horrific.
I know.
So,
And then, so that's the main reason why we need it. Even, you know, see, and they leave a contact number here.
well,
All you have to do is,
do they ever do anything more than go down the center of the street? Because that doesn't affect the yards nor the alleyway. How does that help the easements in the back?
see, I don't know their method.
It's a
This
truck
is
that come down the street and it just sprays a little, like a little pickup truck with a mist that look like it go on the ground. It doesn't even cover the grass that's on our sidewalks.
okay.
And everyone along here complain to have kids.
Well, like I said, I don't know what their method is, but the main thing, I think that's the reason why they left it. They left a telephone number and they have an email address, and they say any complaints can be sent in to them. If you would take down their number, it's 301-422-0502. And that way you could always contact them with that number.
Okay.
Okay.
All right, thanks.
So is that everyone that's in agreement? We're going to send this back and get that ready? Everyone in agreement?
Councilman Waiters, I agree.
Okay, so I agree. So that's the majority, but if there's anyone else, let me know.
Councilmember Morgan, I agree.
Okay.
Councilmember Morris, I agree.
Okay. Well, we're gonna move forward with that. And the PEPCO letter of support, that's gonna be put in your mailboxes. And if anyone has any issues with that, please let me know, because we could go on and get that out of the way and have it lined up so that it can get to the Public Service Commission. Okay. All right, I'm going to go down to old business, and under old business, we have the first item, which is FHR 04-16. And that was the meeting rules that Councilmember Waiters talked about in work session. Did you want to read those into the record again, Councilmember, or you want to leave it the way it was?
I believe, Madam Mayor, I didn't read the entire document. I don't know whether Ms. Spann has it before her. I don't have it before me. I did read a portion.
Okay. You could just summarize it then.
I'm asking if Ms. Spann has it.
Oh. Ms. Spann, do you have the summary for the FHR 04-16?
No, I don't have it before me.
Okay.
I think mine is in the building too.
Okay, I have it. It's in the pile. Well, basically, that resolution is a resolution that was passed for open meeting. It mentions open meetings, but it mentions also conduct of the council and the mayor during meetings. And I felt that it was important for that resolution to be shared, particularly with this current body, because it was passed in 2016. And I wanted the members to be aware of the content. So because it's not available to be read into public record today, it was mentioned in the work session. It has been recorded, and our next meeting, it can be read into public record in its entirety.
Okay. So yeah, make sure you bring that to our attention and have it pulled out so we can read it into the next meeting.
Okay.
Okay. All right, we're going to continue on down. Item number 2 under old business is the situation with our Zoom operations and its Zoom logistics. And Councilmember Hargrove, you want to put that back on the agenda. We discussed that in work session. So right now, if you have some comments to make concerning that, you can.
Yes. Again, I wanted to bring both Mr. Gray to do both the work session and the town hall meeting Zoom. I'd like to call for a vote.
Um,
I'd
well,
like
we
to
came
make a
up with
motion
something
that-
altogether different during the meeting.
It's a
I
call
don't,
for the motion.
during the work
It was
session.
just to be done in the town meeting. The work
Okay, but
session
then
wasn't.
you guys are bringing it up at work session, so we should have one person do that.
It
Both
would be
the work session
beneficial
and
if,
the work
yeah,
session in the town hall.
what would be beneficial is if, being it's a
The
Zoom, it
beneficial
is
that,
to be personable to where we all show on camera so that the public would have a more personable relationship with us as council people, because of accountability and the meeting rules that hopefully will be read next month will give more clarity to give understanding that we as council members are sitting in our seat for the people, not for personal gain. So with Mr. Gray, that's just a sidebar, but to be really fair with the citizens, we're visibly able to be seen to give our, verbiage or whatever. It's a respectable thing. That's what Zoom is generally done everywhere. It's not just audible, but it's personable because you have the ability to see who you're speaking to. And it costs, regardless of where the money is coming from, it's using the funds wisely.
we've had citizens for the last year complain that they can't hear. They can't hear on the conference call. They can't hear on the Zoom call. Every time Mr.
Phones aren't
Gray,
on.
every
Phones aren't
time
on.
Mr. Gray, I'm sorry. I
I
thought I
know.
was speaking.
Oh, okay.
Every time that Mr. Gray does our Zoom, there's never any complaint. You guys use it on the net zero housing and other things. So you're right, it's not the cost, because the Zoom meetings for the town hall and the work sessions come out of the grant. So if it's not a cost, then why don't we do the community a service and let them hear what we're saying?
Okay, well, I thought we'd come, I don't have the rest of my notes here from what was done in work session, but I thought we had come to the point that we were going to just try to do ours the way that we had, because with work session, it was supposed to be a shirt sleeve type working environment, and we cannot do that if we go through this whole process, because once it goes to Mr. Gray, it's going to be on YouTube. So,
Madam Mayor,
yes,
that
ma'am.
because that was the understanding that I had, that we would do conference call for work session and then do Zoom for the town hall. But if we're going to do that, we need to stick to that. We can't change it willy-nilly whenever we want. That way the citizens won't know whether to call us on the Zoom or call on the conference call. So we have to make a decision. And every time we make a decision on what we're going to do, it changes as soon as you snap your fingers.
Council member, I tell you what we can do, because of the fact that I don't really, it depends on the council as to whether you all want to make a decision tonight on that, or we can table that until the work session. Because, and as a matter of fact, Ms. Walker has already ordered the kind of system that's going to allow us to do a conference within the main room. Now, that's going to be a big difference for work session. So we have to see, and from time to time, we're going to have to make some change. I mean, we're saying, yeah, we do have a standard, but from time to time, we have things that are going on that needs to be revised. That just happens, So I would just like to know, is everyone willing to just agree to discuss this again at work session? Because I don't think we're going to really get this completely done tonight.
Madam Mayor, if I may,
Yes, ma'am.
we did speak thoroughly into the Zoom. I think it should be tabled. We are speaking, Mr. Gray is here, and we're speaking about making changes. Definitively, the distortion, we're having some lag tonight, and we're having some distortion tonight. The problem with hearing with the conference call, yes, it does need to be fixed. What we talked about was we have a town Zoom number. There was some confusion as to using Mr. Gray's number and whose number are we using? There's confusion what number to use when. Mr. Gray is hosting a meeting. Ms. Fan has been hosting a meeting. So I think we need to speak more into the similarities, but I don't think tonight is the time to do it.
Yes, I'll agree. I'll agree. So if everyone can agree, I will put this back on for our April work session.
That's fine.
Okay.
Mayor Martin, in my opinion, I think we should table it. And with the fact that we need to look and review the equipment that Susan has ordered, so that we can then make a decision as to which would be the best for us and not only the town, but we still need to realize he's under contract. We're going to have to pay him whether we use him or not. And to me, not using him and still having to pay him does not make us good stewards with the people's money.
Yes. All right. And thank you, Councilmember Uck. And yes, now what we do pay for is the town meeting and the TV station. We don't pay for work session. So make
Okay.
sure that that goes in the record. You know,
Okay.
so
Well,
we're using him for the time that we have designated for him.
Okay, because she did speak to the work session and town hall meeting.
No.
Uh-huh. Wait a minute, you said what now? Because that went in and out. Councilmember Uck. Councilmember Uck.
Oh, we were speaking, oh, I'm sorry, we were speaking to both meetings, the work session and the town hall. So if we're just gonna allow
You
him
can't hear us
the town
echoing.
hall, that's fine. But again, as I stated, this man is under contract. We're paying him. And that would not make us good steward with the people's money.
Yes. Okay, that was the reason why I made that comment. And we are fulfilling our contract because we use him for the town meeting and for the TV station. Those are the two items. Those are the two. I just wanted to make sure that went in the record. Okay? Because I didn't want the wrong information going out like we're paying him for an extra meeting. No, he's under contract for those two events. That's the town meeting and the TV station. So if everyone is in agreement, we can go on and table this until work session. I put it on my list here, but I just need to remember. I'm going to move on down, and I am now down to the mayor's update. I have quite a few things that I really just want to give some little segments about. The first thing I wanted to talk about is the Addison Road apartments, which is most people realize is up on Addison Road where it used to be the former Fairfield Farms development. Well, I saw the sign today saying that as of August 2021, those apartments, they're going to be all apartments, will be open August of 2021. So that's something to keep in mind. And hopefully we're going to be able to get a representative that's going to come to one of our meetings to talk about just exactly what's going to be located up there in that particular area. Now, I know at first they were talking about some stores also being there. And we know that this is going to affect a lot of things within our community, mainly the school. Robert R. Gray is going to be greatly affected. Traffic is going to be greatly affected. And I read an article also about how bad the mice, the rats and everything, they've run so bad. But I guess with tearing down the old development, that is what happened on that. So hopefully I'm going to be able to get someone out to come to our work session just to give us an update on what's going on. But August 20, 2021 is the date it's projected to open. Okay, going down to the next item is the stimulus. I know most people have gotten a whiff of the stimulus payment that's going to be coming to all of our neighboring communities and to the town of Fairmount Heights. I don't have it written in stone because we haven't received any kind of official letter, but according to the information that has come from the senators and the governor's office, the amount that we will be receiving is $1,272.83. And then praise the Lord for that. $1,272.83 coming to the town of Fairmount Heights. So if that is not a glorious item to celebrate, I don't know what is. And now it's incumbent upon us to make sure that this funding is used properly and that it's done for the benefit of every person who lives in this community. And that is our sole wish to do. That's our purpose in being here, and that's what we have intentions of doing. So I want to let everyone know the exact amount, and we'll take it from there. As soon as this is written in stone, we will definitely, the planning is already going to be starting, but as soon as it gets to the point where we'll actually see the funding, it will be definitely on. It's going to be things here that you're going to see that's going to make you so proud to live in this town. The next thing is the maglev train update. Now, I know most people remember when a couple of years ago, we were all going to Bowie State and going to all the different protests, trying to stop the maglev train from coming. Well, you know, right now it's popped back up again. I got a letter from Greenbelt the other day. They're hiring consultants. These consultants are going to charge them $300,000. So they asked us, did we want to participate and throw money into the kitty? Well, the letter, I'm going to get that letter printed off and I'll put it in the council members' box. We'll make sure it's put in their boxes, but the cost of the consultants will be $300,000. One thing that they talked about in the letter that came, they talked about the negative impacts of the maglev train. And I think most people have seen some of those items. They talk about how it jars the homes and the pollution that comes from them. And they promised a lot of jobs, but they never really pan out. There are so many negative elements that come with that maglev train. So I want everyone to read as much as you can and try to make sure that when the time comes for us to represent, that we do. Because, you know, even though before when it was supposed to have been taken off of the table, they said we wouldn't be affected because we were a historic town and we had so many senior citizens. Well, it's reared its ugly head again. Maglev is alive and well. So be prepared and be on the lookout to try to go and put up some opposition to this. The next thing is the Maryland income tax. I hope most people have noticed that your Maryland income tax has now been extended until July 15th. And today, federal has been delayed until the middle of May. So that's information that we really need to have. Our summer intern program, Maryland Black Mayors has given us the opportunity to get a summer intern. This intern could work on, I had listed 3 different projects. One was annexation. The next one was the revision of the town charter. The next one was the website and town channel 11. And naturally, there would be other areas that they could possibly work, but this is a summer program. So I sent in paperwork so that at least we can be considered to get this help that would really be of a big benefit to us. The next item that I have is the 100-year celebration for Mrs. Teresa Graves that lives on 60th Avenue. Our celebration is being planned for April 26th, and it's at 6 o'clock in the evening. So you're going to be getting much more information. Councilmember Waiters has suggested a while ago to go in and give her the key to the city. And she's much more deserving of so many things because she's really done a lot with her stability and her stick-to-itness within this community. She's always been a big help. So we're going to make sure we do something great for her. The last item that I have on my list is our clerk to the council, Mrs. Arlene Span. One day this week, I think it was day before yesterday, she had submitted a letter saying that she was going to resign. And I've been losing a lot of sleep about how much we need her and care for her in the position that she's in as clerk to the council. And she's doing such a fabulous job because some of the things that she's doing, we haven't even really had anyone to do that. You know, in previous years, way back, we had a clerk to the council, but the creativity and the innovation and the person that just tries to do everything to make it right. We need people like that on our team. And we're coming down the pipeline now where we have these opportunities that I talked about, the stimulus opportunities. And we don't know what else might come our way because God is showing us favor and we have to let him know that we appreciate it. So I'm going to go into negotiations with Ms. Span. Her letter said April the 1st, but I want to talk with her and try to convince her just to hang with us so that we can fulfill our positions because we need her. We need her. And like I said, it's not easy to fill these positions. You need people who have the skills and have the durability and the wherewithal to make it happen. So that is the final item that I wanted to add. And at this time, I'm going to move down to the council reports, and I'll just go according to the agenda here to call the names because everybody's not lined up exactly the same way. So I'll start with Council Member Akindu-Waka. Council Member Uck,
Has Mr. Pinckney come on the line?
I haven't seen him.
Okay, all right. My report is fairly short in regards to the police department. Pretty much I can follow up with with Lieutenant Ivy. It has been suggested that we bring in other higher official law enforcement officers to help us review our applications for our reservists. I have obtained one neighboring police chief that's willing to help us. We're currently waiting on a response from Legit to come in and give us a hand. And once they're both on board, we will go forward with reviewing the applications, also with Lieutenant Ivy, as well as the other police chiefs and whomever Legit sends in to help us with that. And I would also like to ask for the indulgence of the mayor and council, because over a year ago, I did state upon receiving the flyer that stated exposure of the quorum, AKA the Gang of Four. I would like to respond to the allegations, and I'm only asking for the respected time to do so. I will start with the allegation in reference to Councilwoman Stella Hargrove. Failure to communicate with the community against the Open Meetings Act, demanded almost $4,000 from the Fairmount Heights Township. That's against the charter, section 1-58. Removed Jacqueline Wood Dotson as vice chair, position of Fairmount Heights, thus violating the order of the Fairmount Heights Charter. Attempting to overthrow the current mayor by any means necessary. Extensive Maryland judiciary cases. As it pertains to Councilwoman Hargrove, now this doesn't have anything to do with me, but I felt that I needed to express some information, put out information. Allegation directed to Councilwoman Hargrove. The council was made aware of the petition circling regarding the Christmas bonus. Councilwoman Waiters stated that the petition should not be about the Christmas bonus because it involved the entire council, but it should have been about the mayor's lack of providing receipts for her expenditures. Regarding funds disbursement, which are against the charter, section 1-58. I must remind you that during the administration of former Mayor Miles, may he rest in peace, Councilwoman Waiters followed the same procedure when requesting reimbursement from the town of Fairmount Heights. Councilwoman Waiters submitted receipts for reimbursement for an event that she held. She was reimbursed the amount submitted, and that is no different than the process in which Councilwoman Hargrove followed. The only difference in these similar processes is the amount in which was reimbursed. I would also like to mention that Councilwoman Hargrove had the approval of the full council and the event committee prior to making the purchase. Because the event did not happen, all funds were returned to the town by the vendor. Also, we failed to realize that there were 2 checks, and both checks were signed by Councilwoman Wood Dawson as one of the authorized signatures. Allegation against Councilwoman Patricia Akindu Uwaka. As Councilwoman, she was responsible for the oversight of the police department. When corrupt allegations were made against Chief Watkins, as the councilwoman, she was responsible for the oversight of the police department. When a young lady was apprehended and detained in the police department of Fairmount Heights after business hours, she was allegedly assaulted and raped by an officer who had tested positive for HIV. Alleged police officer has an outstanding criminal record and was on probation when hired. Relinquished her position as chair of public safety because of incompetence and to the nullifying of pending investigation. My response to that is, as it pertains to the oversight of the police department, it has been expressed on several occasions by Councilwoman Waiters that we are merely liaisons and we are not supervisors. It was not my job to supervise the chief of police. That responsibility lies solely with the town manager. In the liaison position, it was my responsibility to find resources to find the department and assist with community engagement by the police department. The fact is, except for the chief of police who was hired by the administration prior to the Waiters administration, each one of the officers in question were all hired under the Waiters administration with full approval of the council. Under the Waiters administration, no council member nor the mayor were aware of these officers' conduct and or criminal records. Based on the information that was provided to us at the time of hire. During the hiring process, we placed our trust in the chief of police to stand by the oath he took to lead and guide the town of Fairmount Heights. In all honesty, the decision to step down as chair of public safety was not the best decision. The role was given to another council member and the citizens asked that that council member step down as I was reinstated in the position by majority vote. As related to the Christmas bonus, to date, I am the only current council member that has returned the Christmas bonus to the town of Fairmount Heights. Although the following bullet points again are not pertaining to me, I thought I would still needed to shed some light on some facts. Allegation against council member Jacqueline Morgan. As chair of public works, fired public works supervisor unethically Thus, the town of Fairmount Heights is currently being sued. Mismanaged of public service workers, thus the town is not clean and supervised properly. Misappropriated funds for trash removal equipment and town vehicles. Township Public Works employees were not provided with the proper PPE during the ongoing COVID-19 pandemic. Response, and from my viewpoint for Councilwoman Morgan. Give me 1 second, I apologize. I apologize. I still should be on Councilwoman Hargrove. I apologize. The removal of Councilwoman Wood Dodson from Vice Chair was a unanimous vote by the town council. At the time, Councilwoman Waiters also threw her name into the to be appointed to the position. Not only did Councilwoman Waiters want us to remove Councilwoman Dodson, but she also wanted us to remove her from all committees she chaired at the time. The beginning of the overthrow of the mayor. After former Mayor Waiters lost the election in 2016, she composed a letter questioning the ethics of the election board and signed it, a concerned citizen. It was eventually found out that the letter carried no merit. She then began to strategize to overthrow by convincing Councilwoman Hargrove to run for mayor in the next election. During these strategy meetings, Councilwoman Wood Dodson stated, "They always vote for someone new." This was all done at Councilwoman Hargrove's home, where Councilwoman Wood Dodson also stated she would push all her constituents to vote for Councilwoman Hargrove if she remained vice chair. The question should be posed to Councilwoman Wood Dodson in regards to her stipend. After being advised that Councilmember Hargrove, Morgan, and herself should not be entitled to the increase until next election, she was advised that ignorance would have no place in this situation. She also has been advised that she would not have the right to receive the increase. The statement was made by Councilwoman Waiters. I would also like to mention that Councilwoman Hargrove Morgan never received the increase. Point correction, I've been corrected. They received it, but they returned it. Now I'm reference to the allegation directed to Councilwoman Morgan, which I've already read. In reference to the dismissal of the Department of Public Works supervisor, this act is truly justifiable, but unfortunately, we cannot make you aware of all the circumstances at this time. We would more than welcome conversations later once all the information is collected and is authorized to be discussed and or distributed. As it related to the misappropriations of funds for trash removal, Councilwoman Morgan did not hire the outside company to remove the trash as the contract was obtained by the previous administration. As it relates to purchase of the dump truck, Councilmember Morgan was not the decision maker in the purchase of that dump truck. This decision was made by the mayor, Councilwoman Waiters, Councilwoman Wood Dodson, and Councilwoman Akandu Walker, which then was a unanimous vote by the council. In summary, if the community is going to allege that the Gang of Four are corrupt and dishonest, then we must allege that the entire council is corrupt and dishonest based on the information provided. The Gang of Four, in their roles as council members, acted within the realm of the council. in reference to allegation on council member Glenn Morris. Abused his power as councilman, had handicap sign placed in front of his neighbor's residence, prohibiting them from parking in front of their residence. This was done at the expense of the town of Fairmount Heights and your tax money. Carrying a gun and tormenting his neighbors. Excessive calls to the police resulting in numerous vehicles being towed. Citizens of Fairmount Heights demanded that he relinquish his position of public safety chair, and Patricia Akindu-Uwaka was appointed by the council. In reference to Councilmember Morris, again, I say, I have made several requests because my main concern is in reference to him brandishing a gun, pretty much threatening the lives of the citizens of Fairmount Heights. Again, if anyone has a video, pictures, anything of that nature that shows him demonstrating these things, please place it in front of the mayor and council. And as I've told him, and I'm saying it again, in front of the citizens of Fairmount Heights, mayor and council, I'll be the first one to ask him to step down from his seat. That would conclude my report. If there's any information that anyone wants from me to back up anything that I'm said here tonight, I'll be more than happy to present it. Councilmember Morris has provided me with his response to the petition. Fact, the parking restrictions were put in place and voted on prior to my election to the Fairmount Heights Council. Non-resident parking was voted on because of the amount of out-of-state tags, cars on the street, making it nearly impossible for people who live on the street to park. We have residents who have lived here for more than 3 years now and are not compliant with the state, county, and Fairmount Heights ordinances. Fact, I have never been disrespectful, provocative, or threatening to any of my neighbors, nor have I abused public safety resources. I have had to call 911 several times as I and the life of my wife and children have been threatened by several neighbors, which have resulted in several stay-away orders, as noted in the Prince George's County Court System. I have submitted several video clips to Fairmount Heights Police, Mayor, and Council of my situation that my neighbors have put me in. My wife and children have endured the following: being blocked in retaliation of parking illegally where neighbors believe they own the street, trash put in the way of being able to enter my vehicle, broken glass where I enter my vehicle, verbal and physical threats of violence, visitors' cars initially hit and pushed, had neighbors stand in her driveway and threatened to kill my wife when she arrived home, to the point Prince George's police were parked for more than 2 hours protecting over my home. Was approached by neighbor who told me he knows I carry a firearm and that he has one too, and would use it on me, then called the police and said I brandished my firearm to him and his wife and filed, would use it, then called the police and said I brandished my firearm. Box that he said a petition was already filed against him. Once in court, the judge asked to see the video evidence, which was not done. The wife of the neighbor admitted that she lied to the judge and was not in fact present and did not see the alleged situation. She later admitted she lied because she was tired and just wanted the situation over. The judge admitted she lied. The judge ruled in my favor and granted me a stay away order. verbal slander of my daughter being accused of not being disabled, tricking on K Street while on dialysis. All of this has occurred while ordinances are in place. They have not been enforced. I do believe if I have to call 911 due to situations on my street, that my life and the life of my and children are in danger. If Fairmount Heights police are dispatched before the call escalates to Prince George's Police. While I welcome anyone who has proof of anything other than what I have read to bring it and submit it to the Ethics Commission, Mayor and Council. That concludes his rebuttal. Citizens of Fairmount Heights, I don't know who put out the flyer. I don't know who's walking the petition. But I say this, I'm here to do a job. I'm going to do the job until the election, when you then find you no longer want me here to do the job. And I do think that there are some things that needs to be discussed in reference to the funds of Fairmount Heights. As Mrs. Safak said at one point, somebody owes the town some money, and she's absolutely correct. And that concludes my report.
Thank you very much, Council Member. I'm going to move on down. Council Member Morgan.
Okay, since she did all that long-winded, the four, I'm gonna read my rebuttal. Jacqueline, oh, sorry about that. Jacqueline Morgan, Liaison of Public Works. There are false allegations against me. The Liaison of Public Works doesn't supervise the public works staff. The town manager supervises them, and I assist the town manager when needed. It is said that I fired the public works supervisor and that the town is in litigation because of that. I am one council member. I do not make any decisions of the town without a vote on the table between the mayor and council. And the accusation that the town is now in litigation because of the decision that was executed by the mayor and town manager and not the council. I am accused of misappropriating funds for trash removal equipment and town vehicles. I do not handle any funds for the town. The treasurer handles all funds. All funds are supported by documents before the treasurer issues out any checks. And any money decisions are made by the mayor and council before issuing. After purchasing the new trash truck, the mayor was still ordering the dumpsters from Greyhound when we had everything in place that we needed to move forward for our town. I believe the last check was issued in February of 2021 of $1,200, and the council did not approve of. PPE, personal protective equipment. During the COVID-19, also the funds from the CARES Act, the mayor and council had numerous meetings concerning COVID-19 and the CARES Act of $93,000 that was awarded by the state. All materials, supplies such as masks, hand sanitizer, gloves, and other items was not ordered by me. They were ordered, some by the treasurer and the mayor. Other supplies were also donated by different entities. That's my report.
All right, thank you very much. We're going to move on down. Councilmember Hargrove,
Yes, my report is, we haven't had any updates on the Veterans Memorial. We're still waiting for information to come in, so that we can get the variance approved for that. The newsletter and information as far as that goes is going to give you an update on that. And that concludes my report.
Thank you, Councilmember. Councilmember Wood Dodson.
Yes, my report would be, during the month of February, I collaborated with other council members, as well as Mayor Martin, to make sure that the Black History Month was given and was a success, as well as consistently making sure as much as I could with what was given passed out among the seniors and those that had given names and addresses for distribution for produce or different things that were given from UCAP. I this week made sure at least 11 people in the community were given produce, and I'm in the process of trying to see what can be done in collaboration with what Ms. Sarumi said to help make this community be given more provisions as far as food desert help for people. We have a lot of grandparents raising kids and kids that are at home. So that's a part of what I've been doing and participating with the Green Team as well. And that's my report. But my question as well is, with the information that was given in work session, just wondering, has the information that I had asked in regard to the minutes, the agenda, what transpired in what was said, being that Ms. Uck just gave such an elaborate report with my name in it in regard to removal of, the position of vice chair. I still would like to know, I had asked if in any way the information could be given to me this week. It was said Tuesday in the work session. It's today, Wednesday. I'm just wondering, have anything been gathered?
She's supposed to submit it in writing.
I did submit
Yes,
it in writing. It's been in
yes,
writing. Maybe they didn't put it in your box, but it's
yeah,
been there since last week.
yes, Councilmember, I did receive your folder and I gathered the information. We're working on that because you'll get a formal letter. I was trying to see if we could get past, I know at least by this week, by the end of the week, and I want to try to do something for Saturday so we can start making plans for what we're going to move ahead with our progress. So I've been working on that all the week, been working on the town meeting, been working on all those things, but I have reviewed your information. So because there was even some reference of some letters that were given to me and I have not had a chance to respond, I'm going to respond to those also. So you will get a formal response from me. And I don't know, where it will go from there, but at least you'll get a formal response.
Okay, because what I had submitted, I was
given to
looking for answers to be given in regard to the charter as well as the meeting rules. If these are the,
No, the attorney
are
wrote
we
that
gonna
letter
sing
to give
together
to
or are
her.
we
She
gonna
received
talk
that letter
together?
already.
There's somebody, please mute your TV. That's somebody's
No,
TV.
that's the four that's
That's
in the town
Councilmember
hall.
Hargrove speaking about the attorney and not allowing Councilmember Wood Dotson to speak.
Will
She
you
needs to
all
mute her mic.
please be respectful of
Mute
one
her mic.
My
another?
phone was muted and I'm
No,
not,
it
No,
and
you
she's,
heard
wasn't.
what you
No, it
said. You
wasn't.
heard
I
what you
can
said.
hear
All right, you all
everything you're
please be
saying.
I'm not
respectful.
allowing her to give her report or ask her question.
Stop,
My
stop
phone
that
was muted.
fussing. Stop
Point
it.
of order. Please
Get
be
some order,
respectful to
Billy.
one another. Please
Yeah,
be
just give us
respectful.
some order.
All right, we're going to move on. And I think that was all that Councilmember Dotson, you were the last person, but that was the answer that I had for you. And I'm working on that. Councilmember Morris, I think you got to yours. Did you give your report? Councilmember Morris.
Mayor Martin, I wasn't finished. What I
Oh, you
wanted
weren't?
to
Okay.
know, what I wanted to know is we were told by the agenda as well as in the work session that this meeting would be a Zoom meeting. Is there a reason why 3 of us are home and the rest are in the town hall? Because isn't it stated in the charter that when you gather 4 as a quorum, it can be considered a meeting? And we were told
I
that
didn't
we
mean-
would be on a Zoom. So
Yeah, and see,
I'm just asking for clarification from you, Mayor Martin.
okay, now here, let me just make a statement on that. In order to make it convenient and trying to, consider everybody hearing and being able to see everyone, that's why I'm sitting at home this evening so that I can have my own laptop. You can see, you can hear. And when everybody was cluttered up together, it was just causing so much feedback and problems. Trying to accommodate everybody. That's why sometimes you have to move the items from one place to the other because it's just not working overall. And we've been in this for a year. It's
Right.
nothing easy about it. Nothing
Thank you.
easy, but definitely there are certain types of things that have to be observed. And if everybody was to use your own space, it works out perfectly. Now, I don't know, some people might not have the capacity, but everybody does not have to crowd up. If we have a reason that we say we're going to do it at home, we have our contractor, Mr. Gray, is begging to do it at home, and he's recording from his home. So we're making it convenient for everybody. That's exactly what it is.
But
So,
my question to you is this: even though 4 are in the building, if we're going by what is governed in the charter, it says if 4 of us gather in one place, it can be considered a meeting, or if I'm wrong, please correct me.
that is what they say, a quorum.
Okay, thank you.
And like I said, I assume it
Thank
was
you.
the people that didn't have access for their cell phones or their computers that were going to come to the building to get access. Because I made it very clear that I was not going to
Yes.
be in there tonight.
Yes.
I was not going
Okay.
to be in
Thank
there.
you. Thank
And
you
we do
for the
have that
record.
option because
Thank
we're
you.
still.
Who else is in the
operating-
room with the 4? Who else is in the room with the 4?
I don't know whether Lieutenant Ivy is still there or not. He might
Ask them
still
who
be
else
there.
is in the room.
I don't know whether he's there or not, but I can check. But right now I got to finish up what I'm doing here.
Lieutenant Ivy is still present because you asked him to remain, Mayor.
Okay. All right. So we're going to move on down. Councilmember Johnson, are you finished? Okay.
Yes. Yes.
Okay. All right. Councilmember Morris, did you have something else to add?
Yes. So my question about the newsletter is that on February 19th, I believe, February 9th, notice was given that all the articles were to be turned in by March 1st so that we can go to graphics and then we can get it proofed and to print. So at this point, we're still missing articles from 2 council members, the Civic Association and the CDC. So the new deadline will be extended to Friday of this week. On Monday, we will go to graphics and to put it together with the deadline to print by April 5th.
Okay.
I have a letter here that I was asked to read concerning situations that we've discussed already today. This letter was dated on April 10th, 2019 and given it to the council on that evening. It says, "Good morning. After reviewing the charter on salary increases for the mayor and council, I am of the opinion we may not increase the salaries of the members not up for re-election. The highlighted language below leaves us little wiggle room to implement the solution that I mentioned last night. Section 1-6, salaries. Each council member shall receive an annual salary which shall be equal for all council members and shall not be specified from time to time by the ordinance passed by the council in the regular course of its business. Provided, however, the salary specified at the time any council takes office shall not be changed during the period for which the council was elected. The ordinance making any change in the salary paid to the several council members, either by way of increase or decrease, shall be finally obtained prior to the municipal election for the members of the next succeeding council and shall take effect only as the members of the next succeeding council. This was written by Jason Deloach, our attorney for the town of Fairmount Heights. So it was brought to my attention and asked to be read because I am aware that there are 2 council members at this time that are not receiving the increase that was given to the newly elected officials, which I was a part of that class. I was also given a list of former council members and former mayors, as well as now council and mayor, of monies that are owed to the town of Fairmount Heights by way of bonuses that were given illegally. And I will submit this to Susan, and I will ask her to start doing collections on this list because as Ms. Syphex has said, there's money that is owed to the town. We're stewards of this town and its money.
Election.
And at this point, anybody that owes money, I am demanding as a council member that you all forward your check and pay your bill, whatever it may be. That's all I have for today.
Thank you. Councilmember Waiters.
Yes, Madam Mayor. I won't reiterate the African American Historic month and celebration that we had in the month of February. Everyone knows that I was instrumental in assisting in making that happen with the team in the background. I won't reiterate what has already happened, what has already been discussed, to our way of its success. The Women's History Month, we are still putting the logistics together for that. Again, it's been mentioned a couple of times, the flyer's been passed out, so I won't go into that. We're just awaiting the logistics for that meeting on Sunday. The virtual art activity that I was working on, the date for that is still pending. We have a lot going on. I was actually anticipating the month of April, but again, we have a lot going on, so the date is still pending on that. We have an economic development meeting tomorrow at 7 p.m. I believe the Zoom number is on the website. Starts at 7 o'clock, and Ms. Rashida Jamison, who's the CEO of United Communities Party, is going to come and give an overview of the proposed build out for the, I think it's 711 Eastern Avenue, which is the Melvin's Crab House property. PGCMA has a meeting on tomorrow at 6:30. It was in the PGCMA meeting that I actually reported last week about the funding that was pending or proposed to come to the town of Fairmount Heights. I did, as a follow-up, attend the meeting on Thursday where Constantine Hoyer did present to us, confirmed. I want to elaborate on that, Madam Mayor, because you have most of the information. I've reported to you directly on that. Ms. Green team, we're seating, again, I won't reiterate. I did see something in the bulletin about MML, Madam Mayor, and I guess that's a further conversation as to whether we'll be attending the conference, be it virtually or in person. That concludes the portion of what I have down. I'm not going to respond to what has been read into public record that I was not aware of, didn't have a copy. Ms. Sylvia Syphex asked a question as to who was at the municipal center right now. That question was not answered. Lieutenant Ivy is there, but the question was not answered as to who was there. And to Councilmember Wood Dawson's point, if you close this meeting out and the council members that are there, if it be for continue a conversation, it is an open, a public meeting. For the information that was presented tonight, I didn't have a copy of any of it, but my name was mentioned several times. So I asked the last time there was reference to something like this and we were in a meeting, I asked for a copy of it. I did not get that. So I'm asking for a copy of the reference and the rebut, whatever it was tonight.
The voices are picking up. Continue, council member.
No, I just made that statement. I mean, it behooves me that we will be on a very important town meeting call with a report of receipt of a large amount of money and how we should be good stewards of it. And we get this reporting and response to something nothing out. Wasn't a part of the agenda. You call for updates, I would expect a report, but we get a response about a complaint when there are many complaints that have not been answered. I don't really go too far into that. I don't want to go there, but I would like a copy of that. It's the second time this has been done without me being aware. And as a body, and they have presented, if we are a body, we should have been aware or had a copy of what was read into public record tonight, especially the accusations.
This is the second time. It was read for 20 minutes last in the work session. So we're not getting anything in writing, but you want it on the record. So
And
what
the reason, and
what everybody
with
read tonight.
Council member,
Madam Mayor,
point of
that was
order.
actually, I'm not, yes, ma'am, it's my time to speak.
Okay.
I'm the last one to speak before public participation. I
Yes.
gave my update. I gave my response. There's no need to go any further with that. You can move to the next item.
Well, council member, if you have finished that, I will. I'm going to move on. I want to thank everyone for
ma'am.
your updates and your reports. And at this time, I'm going to move directly on to public participation. And I ask that everyone please be considerate of everyone's
Martin.
time.
Mayor Martin,
Yes.
Mayor Martin,
Yes.
Councilwoman Uckendoo Walker here. If you remember, and I'm quite sure some of the citizens will remember, that our last town hall meeting, when Councilwoman Hargrove made the attempt to read her report containing some of the information that I presented tonight, that there was rebuttal by Councilwoman Waiters stating that her name was being used. I therefore sought legal advice from our town attorney, and he himself stated that my defense should be read in public, on a public forum. And that is what I did. And yes, if she feels that she needs a copy of it, more than happy to provide her with a copy of it. And any citizen in the town of Fairmount Heights. Matter of fact, I think it wears that everybody will be privy to it if it went into the newsletter.
I think it would be a good idea, Councilman, if you provide the copies. That would be the best idea to me. You can do it according to your choice, but I think that's the best
Thank
idea
you.
to provide the copies.
And I appreciate that, Mayor Martin, because that is exactly what the attorney advised me.
Okay. All right.
Thank you.
All right. I'm going to move on. I want to move now down to public participation. I ask please that everyone, please just keep in mind that we're working toward a goal here in Fairmount Heights. Please, for the good of the organization, if you all would like to make comments, please keep those limited to 2 minutes and everyone can have the opportunity to speak. And I don't have any access because I can only see the name. So those people that would like to make a comment at this time, you will sort of begin to line yourselves up. The first person. All right, if there are no comments, is
Mayor,
Mrs. Paper still on? Yes,
This is Joyce
Ms.
White.
White.
I would like to make a comment.
Uh-huh.
Ms. Up just said that the lawyer advised her. Did we pay for that? Did the town pay for it, or did she pay for it?
I didn't hear that, council member.
No, this is Joyce White. Ms. Up just said that the lawyer advised her to read that in a public forum. I just wanted to know, did she pay the lawyer for that, or is the town paying the lawyer for advising her personally?
Councilmember Uck?
I can answer that, Mayor
Okay.
Martin.
Mm-hmm.
During our last meeting with him for legal advice, and it was not for me personally, it was for the group because we were all grouped together, and he is the attorney for the town, for the mayor and town council of Fairmount Heights.
Point of correction, Madam Mayor. Point of correction, Madam Mayor. I really think that we should take this off the table. Point of correction, the attorney did not advise us. At that point, he stopped and said, this is not executive session. And before we go any further, since the attorney's name is being mentioned and he's advising, this is something against not the whole body, but individually. So there's a point to the question. He's not here to answer. I really think it should be taken off the table.
I don't see where that would be a problem. That's probably the best thing, because we have to make sure we're still legally sufficient any way we look at it. So let's just do that.
Thank
Hello?
you.
Hello?
Okay.
Hello?
Yes, is that Ms. Syfax?
Yes.
I saw your name in the chat box.
Yes.
So Ms. Syfax,
Yes.
you can proceed.
Yes. Mayor, I'm very happy about the stimulus money. I want to know how citizens and the Civic Association can be deeply involved in the planning for that money. There's a lot of code enforcement that definitely needs to be done. I'm very disappointed that the code enforcer didn't attend the meeting, but I want to know how the citizens can be deeply involved. We are not interested in being told what has been decided at some meeting or whatever. We want to be an integral part from day one. The next thing, I think that everybody can recognize that there's a problem in dealing with staff and employees and consultants that are experts, like Ms. Spann and Ms. Goodall. I read a parting memo by a former town manager, and one of the things that she mentioned was that the council people act like macro managers and supervisors. And I've heard current employees and current residents talking about their observations of certain council members being very abusive and unreasonable and inappropriate with employees. And I really want Mrs. Spann to stay because she is top-notch, top shelf. And I think that whoever is involved in negotiating her staying, if she will do it, they need to make sure that whatever is negotiated, whatever her concerns are, and based upon just other people's observations and what past employees of the town have had to say about the way council members interact with the staff, and then blame all the failures that they're behind on the town manager. I hope that if she does agree that the Civic Association and the community is involved in making sure that she is treated like the gem that she is. And I also hope that at some point, the mayor and council, especially the four, since we have until October, will consider bringing back the circuit rider. There is no reason to say that you don't like the way somebody talks. Well, we'll never have a good town. So I hope that will be taken care of. And somebody mentioned my name as far as giving the town what is owed. Whoever was quoted from the town attorney. The town attorney doesn't rule me, doesn't rule you, doesn't rule us, but the state laws do. And in the same manner that you're trying to claim that Councilwoman Dotson owes the town money, you owe the town an election. in the same way that a salary increase shouldn't apply to the next succeeding or whatever, that charter amendment did not apply to everybody. And we should have had an election in last May of 2020. And I think you all you need to drop harassing Councilwoman Wood Dotson. You all need to start working on planning on how to spend this stimulus money. And when and the next meeting you all come to, you all need to talk to Mr. Rumi, see the format and the content of the reports that she gives. And you all need, instead of worrying about some petition or whatever, you all need to sit down and write reports and present reports in a professional manner as should be expected of an elected officer. And all of this foolishness about a petition and whatever, that is outside of the town's business. It's outside of the town's business. And you are just, you just mistreat people, you're abusive, and you need to stop. And we hold you accountable if Ms. Spann cannot work out something. And if you let Ms. Spann go, we still expect the same level of compliance with the Open Meetings Act that we've had during her short tenure. Thank you.
All right, thank you so much. Thank you, Ms. Syphax. I'm only going to answer one part, Ms. Syphax, of the question that you asked about how the Civic Association can be included in the planning for the stimulus money that's coming. We are going to make sure that we have a nice group that we're going to have a charrette, and we need to schedule it. I wanted to get the papers officially in my hand before we actually start calling everyone in, because there might be questions that I can't answer. I have just information that's come down the pike now. As soon as that information is solid and grounded, we will use the same method of reaching out, and it's going to possibly be on a Saturday morning, to whereas we have like a 4-hour window to just sit and plan and talk and get input and be able to move forward. That was for you, Mrs. Syphax. All right. Is there anyone else who would like to come forward at this time?
I have a question, Madam Mayor. I'm asking you, can we get like a week or two notice so that we can prepare?
Sure.
Okay. The other thing I wanted to ask you now, with respect to these net zero houses. Now I'm sure we're gonna have a big ribbon cutting with the governor and the county exec and all these people. And I'm sure that at this point, we all should want to look like we can handle a $2.5 million investment in housing. And in that vein, I'm asking that the town take down that half demolished houses across the street from where those houses are. We've been asking for that for 10 or 15 years. We would look a lot better as a town if just at that one site for the ribbon cutting, we could look like we do code enforcement.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right, thank you. All right, I saw one other hand, and it seems like it was somebody that was on the Samsung telephone. I'm not sure. But if there's anyone else, would you please either raise your hand or go in the chat box and let me know so that we can give everyone the opportunity.
Mayor Martin.
How you doing there, Mr. Barnhart?
All right, how y'all doing this evening? That was me to have my hand raised.
Okay.
This is Martez Barnhart, president of the Civic. I just want to touch on a couple of things. You know, this has been a very interesting meeting so far. So you gotta excuse me, my thoughts are all over the place with this. But I like to touch on the net zero homes and the new pilot program that's coming down about the solar panel project that's going to be along with that building of the 6 zero homes. I just want to make sure that the mayor and council, along with the civic and the citizens of Fairmount Heights, are very informed about this new pilot program. Do a little bit of research on it to make sure that it is a good program. What other places had the program been, installed at? Making sure that in those areas, was there any citizens that had any problems with it? The civic had a meeting earlier today, and Ms. Joyce brought the fact up about being as though that we're dealing with energy and we're dealing with solar energy. What about like radiation? Because we got those kind of things that go on whenever you deal with power lines and things like that. So we want to make sure that it sounds like it's going to be a good project as far as the energy that will have these homes capable of running without electricity in case an outage happens, in case anything like that happens, and that's fine. But we just want to know all the logistics of this project to make sure that it's safe for the citizens. I love the idea that Ms. Stephanie did entertain the fact about holding on to the plaques and the historical trail, making sure that Fairmount Heights does preserve the historical side of the old municipal building. So I really like that part about it. I just want to make sure that on the safety side of it, that everything is going to be on the up and up. We still have some concerns and questions that wasn't asked in that meeting on February the 17th about the underground springs that surrounds the whole town, and especially on that site, as though they're going to be digging and they're going to be doing things. So we want to make sure that we're clear on that too, because we have a lot of houses that's around that area that can be affected by building. I mean, we want to welcome anything that's going to be beneficial to the town, that's going to help us look good and help, revenue and things like that. But we got to make sure that we are crossing our T's and dotting our I's about the safety and the protection of the people that's here. The other thing that I would like to touch on as well is, we talk about the police department and the reserve officer program, and Councilwoman she's the chair of public safety. We haven't had any meetings on public safety for a while now, so the citizens don't really know too much about the public safety side of it. I know that Lieutenant Ivy did say what was in process with the reserve officers. I just hope that we get to the point where as though that we actually get some officers in our town. I don't know if people notice it or not, that Prince George's County was servicing and was patrolling, but we haven't seen them in a long time. And a citizen has been contacting me about the whereabouts, about public safety, and people not feeling safe in this community. How can we bring new development or new residents to the community if they're not safe, or they feel that they're not going to be safe? So I think we really need to start prioritizing how we're going to structure our town. First should be public safety, and second should be how the town look, which is code enforcement. We do a lot of this going back and forth about who did this, who said this, who said that. Let's worry about doing the things that the town really needs. And that's to make sure that the citizens are safe and their properties are looking good and everyone is satisfied with what's going on in the town. And I know I've been longer than 2 minutes, but I just want to make sure that we touch on, the other thing is that we got this money that's coming down, and Ms. Saf has touched on it a little bit. I'm not gonna go into detail about that, but you talking about $1 million. I hope that you know, we can get some speed bumps. I hope we can get some new lighting going on in the town. You know, Fairmount Heights is a historical community. We got a lot of building going on around us. We got a lot of building that's be going on in the town. And the mayor just said that we're going to be, in the future, this is going to be a beautiful town that's going to be managed, that's going to be thriving, and that's going to be ran by successful people that know what they're doing to make sure that this town is put where it needs to be. I'm just want to just speak to all the citizens that's on the line tonight that we live in a beautiful community, and this community will thrive moving forward with the help of everybody. And that's all I would like to say at this time. I know we got a lot that we could talk about, but for time's sake, I'm finished. And thank you, Mayor.
All right, thank you so very much, Mr. Barnhart.
Yes,
And
ma'am.
I see, appreciate it. I see Miss Shelton's name down here. I think that's your hand up, Miss Shelton, a little white glove I see up. And then I see Miss Pat Webb, and I see Miss Daisy Capers. If you all could do it in that order, we could get situated. Is Miss Shelton still on? All right. Well, I'll go to Miss Pat Webb next, and then Miss Daisy Capers.
Thank you, Mayor. I wanted to go back to the presentation or the summary that Ms. Prostel, I believe her name is, gave us. At the working group session, she actually spoke about loans being made available to the citizens to do home improvements. And those loans were not ones that had a repayment schedule, but would be paid back when the house either transferred or sold. And she didn't discuss that tonight. So I wanted to know at what point would that information be made available to the citizens so they would know how to apply and where to apply.
Okay. Well, thank you very much, Ms. Webb. We have a contact number for Stacy. She cut it short tonight because she asked me, did I want the whole presentation? And because she had done it last month, I said, just go on and give the shortened version. But let's get you hooked up with her number. She could tell you exactly what to do. Mr. Rumor, do you have your information where you have Miss Stephanie's direct number?
Actually, I have that information. I was questioning whether the town was going to make that information available either through the newsletter or through some other means, because people who are not on this call right now, even though I have the information, it wouldn't be helpful to anyone who's not present tonight.
Okay.
So is the town planning to do anything that would bring this information to the general public's attention?
Okay, what we will do, we will take that information, and Friday, I think is what's the deadline? I think Councilmember Morris said the deadline for the information for the newsletter. Mr. Rumi, can we get something over to his attention so that that can be included in the newsletter?
Yeah, let me go back a little bit. Okay. The first thing I want to go back and respond to is the use of the coronavirus state and local funds. Okay, I've been in contact with MML and some other experts. Okay, so here are some important points. You can use the funds to respond to to mitigate the COVID-19 health emergency or its negative economic impact, including assistance to households, small businesses, nonprofit, that includes you, Ms. Capers, and includes the Civic Association, and aid for tourism, travel, and hospitality. The next bullet, to provide essential workers. That's our public works folks, essential workers with premium pay. Third one, cover revenue loss as a result of incurred as a result of the COVID-19. And this is the one I like most, Mr. Barnhart, to make necessary investments in water, sewer, and I talked about broadband, the use of broadband in our communities. You know, I drive through town and I see kids who should be in school and they're not. I keep thinking, why are these kids in school doing homeschooling? Or why aren't they participating in school? So a lot of them, because they don't have computers, they don't have broadband, they don't have that. Okay, now to the issue of loans. As I stated earlier in my report, I've been working with Stephanie and HIP to come up with innovative ideas and look for funds. So we were able to, through a program called NED, a National Economic Development Funds that come down to the county, to the state, to the county. And so the county has contracted HIP to oversee a program where you can get up to $60,000 in a forgivable loan to renovate your house. I will not have that information ready for the newsletter by Friday. However, as soon as I get that information, get all the details, I will get that information out. I'll do it as a news flash on the website. But these are the great things that are coming. I was hoping that Stephanie would go in to talk about the loan. And Mr. Barnhart, I made one note. Whenever I hear information, I spend time doing research. I know at one point we talked about aquaponics. One Saturday I spent several hours. I drove 98 miles through Kent County to go look at an aquaponics farm. I'm saying all this to say this to you. I will talk to Stephanie, and I think instead of having Stephanie come do your update, I'm going to ask, or make some notes, I'm going to ask to have Pepco. I want to have the engineers representing MEA and other engineers to brief us on that. It's a transformer, really. If you ride around, sometimes you see them just sitting on the ground, sitting all over. It's a type of transformer, and also about the solar system. So by the time we have another work session or meeting, whatever is the pleasure of the mayor, I will make certain that, and through Stephanie, I will make certain that we will have the experts available to talk about the research on this innovative project. As Stephanie said, it's innovative. It will put Fairmount Heights on the map. It's for the first time. So I've been thinking of a way how we can rebrand Fairmount Heights. Seat Pleasant have the smart city technology, but we're going to have the smart green city. We have this project coming. We started with 6 houses. We've added landscape. Now we're adding solar energy. We're adding a transformer. We're able to incorporate the historic markers. So as I always say in my report, connect the dots. And I think this time we've connected the dots. So that information will be forthcoming. So as Mayor Martin said, we definitely have plans. Mayor Martin has been discussing with me to have charrettes, how we can facilitate such a meeting, but we need additional information first. So I will be online with MML tomorrow evening. And so they're going to present as much information as that is available right now. So when I say I submitted to MML a list of questions, and their answer to some of this, but we don't know. Because my question is, it says, the funds are available 60 days after approval by the Biden administration. What is the date of approval? The other good part of this whole process, Mayor Martin, is that once it's approved and once we have a plan, we get 50% of that $1 million upfront.
Yeah.
The balance of it is to be spent by 2024. So this is, you're in a win-win situation. So I'm saying all this to the citizens out there. We listen to what you say. So the last time we talked about, Ms. Sarfax, I think a couple of years ago, you brought up the issue. Okay, that's good for new people coming, but what about old people who've been here? How are we gonna fix up their houses? And lo and behold, now we got $600,000. We can do, if we do 10 houses for $60,000 each, or we could do half of that and put in $30,000 each. But we have not yet worked at the details. So these are the kind of meetings I have with Mayor Martin, where we do brainstorming with Councilman Waiters. We do brainstorming, trying to come up with ideas. But guess what? Help is coming.
Yes. All right. Thank you, Mr. Rumi. And Mrs. Capers, I think you might be the last person with your hand up.
Good evening, everyone. It is not I who has a question. I have Nancy Saxon, who's on the phone, who does have a question. Ms. Nancy, go ahead.
Because whatever phone. I listened to you
person. Now this thing is somebody's got to be. Now I'm gonna tell y'all, y'all been going to Ocean City long enough. Going to those classes, you should find out what's going on. Who's going to the winter conference? You gotta say, well, we don't have money. It's a disgrace how the meeting was carried on tonight. Okay? Y'all talking about this. Every time we get people who are gonna work in the town, you gotta some from. Somebody said that Miss Goodall didn't like the way she talked. Don't get rid of her. Now you need to get rid of yourself. Okay? Because I can tell you how to get rid of yourself. There's a disgrace. And your bunch of women, two men, one man, at such disgrace. Okay? It's a very disgrace. I don't know who else is on this phone line, but it is a disgrace. And I am with the Greater Fairmount Heights organizing the planning. And your county is supposed to have a planning committee. And that planning committee is supposed to be meeting with y'all. Every time, where's the person keep on the order? That person should have been in and shit Mr. Up to down. The other thing is that the other person should have been in. Where's the ethics board? Have they been trained yet, really? They get trained online and they follow the agenda of what's there online. Every time they get somebody in here, you don't like the way they look, don't like the way they talk. So you gotta get rid of them.
All right. Okay. Thank you. Thank you, Ms. Saxon. Ms.
Ms.
Davis,
Na-
was that there for you? Uh-huh.
I really didn't have anything to say right now.
Okay.
I just
All right.
want Nancy had her. Okay, you finished,
Okay.
Ms. Nancy?
All right.
Mayor
Okay.
Martin,
Yes, ma'am.
I'd like to go back and ask Ms. Rumi. I heard her naming off certain things that the funds would be used for. Now, because the police department is essential, would they be entitled to a portion of those funds as well?
Well, absolutely.
It said essential. Yeah, they're essential.
Yes.
They're definitely
Okay.
essential.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
So as Mayor Martin said, she's planning to have a charrette, a brainstorming where there's no such thing as bad ideas. So be thinking of exactly where you want to go with the various departments. And so, yeah, that would be essential.
Yes. All right. And Mrs. Shelton, I think I see you back. Are you back? Okay.
Yes, can you hear me?
Yes.
No, I didn't have my hand raised, but I did have a question.
Uh-huh.
Today, Cedar Heights was giving out the vaccines.
Uh-huh.
Is there any chance that Fairmount Heights is going to do the same for their seniors?
Yes. You know, Ms. Shelton, I went online yesterday and we don't have the capacity because the numbers that they were looking for in order to be either a mobile site or a site where they can actually do vaccines, we need a much larger capacity. So once I got to a certain point, I was answering questions, but I got to the point where we ran out where we couldn't qualify. We just don't have, I think they want, I forget how many chairs they want. You have to have a certain amount of restrooms. Our capacity is not large enough downstairs to do it.
Okay,
So,
because you know they were also sending, they had vans riding around through the various areas, giving out the shots as well.
okay, well, I'll check back with them because when they asked us about being the vaccine site, we didn't qualify for that, but we might be able to get a van. So I'm going to go back to that site, and if we can, I'm going to go on and see if we can get one. Because we might be able to get, I saw that pop up about Cedar Heights doing it. And, you know, as you all know, people 65 and over, I know they were doing the Kentland, but they stopped there.
Right.
So where you could just walk in, you didn't even need an appointment.
Right.
So hopefully, if any other information, this came from the county executive's office, is where I saw this, and I went to the site to try to request us to get the, to get a vaccination site, but they said we didn't have the capacity. But
Right,
I'm gonna
okay.
check back with them to see if we can get a van for smaller capacity.
Well,
That
Mayor
would be,
Martin,
I think that would be good for the seniors.
Yes.
Yes. Okay, thank you.
Oh, yeah, you're welcome. You're welcome. Council member, I think I see two more. Let me make sure these hands, okay, Ms. Cables, is your hand going down there? And then Miss, who's this, Miss Syfax, your hand, you down, Miss Syfax?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah,
All right.
I'm just gonna follow up on what Ms. Shelton said. I went over to Six Flags to get my vaccine, and they just did it in the car. So hopefully you might be able to find something where they have a mobile unit and the town can just set up the appointments with the residents that need, the vaccine to come to them.
right.
I'll request that and see what we can come up with.
Because
Okay,
Mayor
if we
Martin,
can, I'll just say, yes, we can, go on and start working, try to get it done.
can I give some information in regard to the shots? Right now,
Yes.
Cedar Heights gave it today. And you
Yes.
will be Saturday, if anyone needs to, they're not supposed to be turning anyone away, but First Baptist of District Heights will be given a shot on Saturday from 8 till 12 in the afternoon. They said that it should be 150 doses there. So
Okay.
anyone can go. They didn't even say it would be an age constraint.
Okay. All right,
So
thank you. We'll try to
park and
pass that
planning,
along.
yeah, park and planning has been doing it in different places.
Okay.
All right.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you all very much for the information. This meeting has been very informative, and I hope that that each person has obtained something that's going to be useful. But as I said at the beginning of the meeting, let's keep our heads to the sky and let's move forward, because we have to do some long-range planning and short-term planning to make sure that we get best usage out of the stimulus that we're going to receive. So God bless everyone. And at this
Mayor
time,
Martin. Mayor Martin. Mayor Martin.
Identify yourself.
Yeah, this is Lieutenant Ivy. I just wanted the mayor and the council and the citizens to know on behalf of Mr. Pinckney, I know he had to help out his sister, so that must have detained him that he was not able to get on the line, just for the record purposes.
Tell the mayor she's muted.
okay, at this time, I will accept the motion for adjournment.
So
Mayor,
move, waiters.
Mayor,
Okay,
hello?
yes,
Yeah,
sir.
I'm sorry. I have a question for Ms. Webb. Far as the ethics, I just want to make sure we got the correct email address. We have citizens that's been calling about getting in contact with the ethics, and we want to make sure we got the correct information, because they said they reached out to them, but they haven't received any response.
Okay. Miss Pat Webb, you still on?
I am on. As a matter of fact, our chairman, Mr. Spruill, is also on, so I will pass this on to him.
Okay.
Okay. All right. Okay. So now, did we get the motion and we got the second on that motion to adjourn? I think I heard it, but we were doing a lot of things in between. If we got that,
I made the first, Madam Mayor. I don't think anybody
okay.
made a second.
Yeah, can I
Second.
get a second on the motion to adjourn? Been
Second.
properly moved and seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
All right, thank you. You all, it is now 9:58. Thank you all so very much for your time and have a wonderful night.
You as well.